of them. So we already have the variables. We're able to read this equation. We pull out the variables. That's great. We're able to identify the how tall because we know what the bigger picture is. The bigger picture is for us to figure out the distance of the building. We have the equation that we're working with, and we are able to plug in that equation. We have our step 0, which is us replacing that equation. We're just putting it down, copy and paste. Step 1 was, you guys say, get rid of the exponents. That's step 1. Step 2, you're telling me to get rid of the zeros, correct?
Yeah.
Are we all agreeing on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to have this when I put my step 2, right? So step 2 equals 2 negative 9.8. It's weird. And what about this part right here that has the xf minus 0? What do I do with that? Because that's part of a 0, but you guys told me before to get rid of the zeros, but I want to make sure that's okay.
You can still get rid of it because anything adding or subtracting by 0 would equal that number. Like, xf would be by itself.
Okay, are we agreeing to that as a class though?
What's she doing?
Okay, you agree to get rid of that 0? All right, so that's our next step then. I can write get rid of zeros. And then I can also explain that the reason why we're getting rid of zeros is because anything plus or minus 0 or times 0 gives you that, well anything plus or minus 0 gives you the answer anyway. Don't really matter. So what's my step 3 for this problem now? Look at the step 2 to understand step 3.
Multiply 2 times negative 9.8 and xf.
All right, so what are you guys feeling about that?
I agree.
Okay, why are you agreeing?
Because you're like when you have the parentheses, you're supposed to multiply. So.
Okay, that's a great logic. Hey, I'm not stopping that. That's a beautiful logic. I'm glad that you actually know that because that took background understanding. What did you get when you multiplied 2 times negative 9.8? What'd you guys get?
Negative
19.6.
Okay, so y'all agreeing with that? All right. So y'all basically got the same thing. That's good. Oh, let me make sure I'm in the right spot. So 19.6. And then xf goes there. So what's my step 4? Look at step 3 to know what's next.
Divide.
What am I dividing?
Divide by negative 19.6 because you want to get xf by itself.
Ooh, she dropped the because. I have to ask. You guys are one step ahead of me when you already explain your logic. That's the best way to get me to just be quiet. Like, I can't say nothing if you know how to explain your logic. So I can't ask no questions because you explained your logic. And your logic makes sense. So I can't even go against it. Absolutely right. I got to get xf by itself. So good. So when I do that, that goes into my step 5, which probably is the ending of my step. But we'll figure it out when the step is actually done. Because I want to make sure I get to the bigger picture first. And my bigger picture is what is xf? That's my bigger picture. So what do I do for step 5? How do I solve for that?
You divide and you get negative
49.03.
Okay, so are we all agreeing on that? Because she said negative 49.
So you put 49.
Say that again?
You could round your answer because it says 49.03, but you can just put 49.
Okay, so just put 49. Are you guys agreeing to that? Because I don't want to put it down if some of y'all are not agreeing.
I put 49.03.
I mean, either way, I can put that too. Which one would you guys prefer, 49 or 49.03? Because it really matters.
I would just put negative 49 because it's easier for me.
Okay, because you're thinking
Yeah, I'd rather do that.
You guys just put the 49? All right. So I think either way, if you do that or this, either way, I think it should be okay because the point is, though, you have the whole number. You know what I mean? And the whole number, the one that's repeated, the one that's probably the most important is that 49 because that tells you the legitimate distance. That 0.3 is probably like a tiny little piece of it, but it doesn't really, and now you have your bigger picture. You got to step 5 steps to get to that bigger picture. It took you 5 steps to figure out that big picture and the end of it all. And that's how life works sometimes. It takes you a couple of steps to get to the big picture, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you guys